Hey guys, this is Jon
and Austin,
and this is another episode of the Meatgistics podcast brought to you by Walton's. Now, we had a guest on today, Emily Lehl. I recorded about a 30-minute, somewhere around there, segment with her. She works for Wisconsin DNR with their R3 program, and we just had a nice chat about hunting. It was a very good time. So we will insert that somewhere. We'll let Patrick decide if that goes in first or second. But
yeah, it'll be a game time decision, boys.
Game time decision. He's going to call an audible. Hey guys, this is Jon, and welcome to another episode of the Meatgistics podcast presented by Walton's. We've got a special guest with us today, Emily Lehl from Wisconsin. She works for the DNR. She is part of their R3 program and does a lot of other things as well. Emily, why don't you tell us just a little bit about yourself and your background?
Yeah, so my position description is hunting and shooting sports program specialist for the DNR. And through that, I mainly help support our Learn to Hunt program, which is an R3 initiative that's been around since about 1996. And R3, for those who haven't heard the acronym, stands for Recruitment, Retention, and Reactivation. And it's specifically for hunting, angling, trapping, and the shooting sports. And so a little bit of backstory on that is that overall, with the exception of target shooting, participation in hunting, angling, and trapping has really declined over the last few decades. And so that plays a big role in just the work that the state agency does for wildlife conservation, since hunting in particular has played a really big role historically in managing populations, managing hunting seasons, habitat management and restoration work, and all the good things that our agency does. And so since that's changing and, our user groups are changing, that means we've got to change a little bit too. But hunting has a lot of great benefits too. And so we want to make sure that people who are interested in hunting still have avenues to do that. And people who didn't get the chance to learn growing up can learn how if they want to. So.
Hey, listen, that's me. I did not grow up hunting at all. I fished like a maniac, but in upstate New York, it just wasn't part of my family's culture. So it wasn't until I came down here that I started getting into it. And I was in my mid to late 30s at that point. So it definitely does. Yeah. There are success stories of hunters finding it later in life for sure. But it is important to try and get people into hunting young if we want to grow this next generation. Just a quick, during COVID, we saw that initial spike in hunting licenses, and I talked to people who were annoyed. They're like, no, now this means my public land is going to be more, my walk-in area. I'm like, yes, I understand what you're thinking, but you also have to understand like that has to happen for us to continue to be able to do this going forward. So R3 is an incredibly important aspect about that. Now, with you doing shooting sports as well, and sort of alluded to it, one of the interesting things to me at least is there are shooting programs in high schools all over the Midwest now. It is exploding. How do we focus on getting those kids from the sporting clays out into the field?
That's definitely something that we've been talking about within our team. And so we have an R3 team here in Wisconsin, and it includes our shooting range manager. I have a counterpart on the angling side. And then we've got the hunter education program. And there's also an archery education program that supports the statewide NASP tournament. So that's the National Archery in the Schools program. And then, yes, we also are definitely aware of just like the huge participation in scholastic shooting sports teams. And so over the last couple of years, we've just been strategizing a little bit about how do we make that move from target shooting into the outdoors. And so that's something that the R3 community as a whole is interested in. And so I think hunting in general has a lot of skills that you need to learn that take quite a bit of time to, develop some comfort with. And so shooting and just the fact that those kids are focusing on shooting every week, maybe multiple times a week, they're getting the safety training through hunter education. That just eliminates a huge barrier for them they don't have to worry about that. They feel comfortable with the firearm. They're safe handling the firearms. And so they're kind of ready to take that next step into the woods. And so I think at that point, it kind of becomes a discussion of why should you go hunting and what are the great benefits of doing that? And so we really focus a lot on trying to show like the whole picture of hunting. I think there's a lot of focus on the shot and very little on all of the work and preparation that goes into it before and after.
Oh, yeah.
So we try to offer a lot of different programs covering all of those things. So it could be like shooting sports workshops to get comfortable with your gun, or it could be wild game cooking workshops. We've done a series of those this year. And then our deer processing workshops are very popular, and we see a lot of interest in them. And I think that kind of thing of like butchering your animal and figuring out what to do with it and how to use it respectfully after, it comes home with you is another one of those skills that people are just like a little intimidated and overwhelmed by. But like, if you get the practice, you can do it. Well, and so it's been really fun to see the interest in the processing workshop.
Yeah, and it absolutely is intimidating. For someone who killed their first deer 6 years ago.
Nice.
It was definitely like, okay, I cut up things all the time. I make sausage, jerky, all of that constantly. But all of a sudden I had this entire dead carcass in front of me. I was out in the middle of a field. It was cold, thank God, but I had all the right equipment. But, it's a lot. You're like, ooh, okay, now what? And you just kind of have to figure it out. I was lucky enough to have somebody kind of like mentoring me, somebody who was interested in getting me into hunting. So he kind of walked me through okay, now you got to do this, 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 and this. And then I found butchering it to be just absolutely fascinating. I loved that. First one I ever took was with a crossbow. But it was very important to me to make a good ethical shot on it. And I was lucky enough where after I shot, it ran maybe 30 yards. And it was a younger buck. So I had really good deer meat from it. And I think part of what more people are getting, a certain subsect of people are getting more interested in hunting is I know exactly where that meat was the entire time. It didn't go through any commercial processing. There was no weird chemicals added to it. So I feel like there's an increase in like the health community. There's an increased interest in hunting there. Does that kind of vibe with what you guys see, or yeah?
Definitely, yeah. The audiences that we're looking at to try to get into hunting are definitely it's everybody. We like everybody to hunt, but just some trends in the general population are that more people are living in cities than ever before, and that even the rural landscape has changed quite a bit in the last few decades, just with larger farm corporations rather than small family farms and things like that. But yeah, a huge reason that's just generally been accepted by the general public for hunting is hunting for food. Yep. And so that's something that we really lean into and try to get people interested in. And it's true, like it's amazing just knowing the backstory behind your meats and having contact with that animal from the time that you lay hands on it until you take it out of the freezer and cook it and eat it. It's just a really powerful experience to have for a lot of people.
Yeah, powerful is a good way to say it. There is something that is just more satisfying if you serve something from an animal that you harvested, that you cooked, like you controlled from A to Z. And a compliment on that means a lot more to me, at least, than a compliment like, oh, that's a great ribeye you cooked. Like, yeah, that part was easy. It's it's all the stuff that goes into hunting that makes it truly satisfying to, at least for me, to serve somebody.
I think the stories are really powerful. Like just, the unknown when you go into your stand or, when you head out into the field, and then the amazing things that you see out there. You just don't get that getting meat or any kind of food from the grocery store. So I think that element of being outside and getting it yourself it just adds, to me, community is a really big part of hunting. And so just the storytelling and sharing the stuff that you see out there brings people together for sure. And I think that's a big element that people appreciate too.
Absolutely. I mean, part of deer camp is the storytelling at the end of the night, right? Everybody gets back from wherever they were. You talk about what you saw, a shot you maybe missed, and everybody loves that aspect of it.
Definitely.
Do you have a specific favorite type of hunting to do?
I'm definitely a jack of all trades,
Okay.
so I enjoy deer hunting a lot. I definitely make time to do that. So I was out a number of days this past week during Wisconsin's 9-day season. But my husband and I also have 5 hunting dogs,
Oh,
and so they're a
nice.
big part of our life. Yeah.
What do you got? What
So,
kind?
We've got so we're definitely dog nerds, so bear with me.
Sure.
But my oldest dog is a German short hair,
Okay.
and then we've got 3 Deutsch Kurzhaars, which are the German line German short hairs.
Okay.
So they're the training that they do is very versatile. So they can do anything from blood tracking to field work. They're good in the water, duck hunting, and then they're just really nice all-rounders that you can do anything with. And then we also have a Drahthaar who's a wire hair.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, we've had a number of dogs over the years.
Our CEO's dog is a GSP with wire hair mix.
Yep,
Great,
I gotcha.
Great hunting dog, and has the great beard. He's an awesome dog. So do you do a lot of upland hunting as well?
Yeah, we make time every year to head up north to go grouse and woodcock hunting. And then down in the southern part of the state, it's a little bit harder to find some hunting to do with those specific types of dogs. But there's pheasant hunting opportunities, and then waterfowl. Like there's a number of farm ponds down in this part of the state too. So sometimes you have to drive a little ways to get to like the Mississippi, or we've got the Wisconsin River right by us.
Oh.
But Wisconsin's pretty special that we just have a lot of public land and a lot of just outdoor opportunities in general compared to other states. So like Illinois, we get lots of people up from Illinois who are looking for just opportunities to go hunting, and so they head up north.
Sure.
But we're pretty lucky.
Very pretty out there
to take advantage of all of it.
And Wisconsin has very pretty land as well. It really does. And your muskie fishing is not bad.
Yep,
Yeah.
That's another big one.
It is. I've seen some pictures of muskies that have come out of some lakes there that just like my mouth hangs open. I'm like, how does it get that fat? Unbelievable. But going back to the R3, what made you guys decide that you had to, because you started focusing on a different age range than most other people. Like what was behind that? What were the failures or successes that led you to think like, hey, we got to go after this youngish adult age range?
Yeah. So early on, when people first saw that hunting participation was declining, people looked at kids right away, because most people, when you start hunting, you start learning as a kid. And especially those who grow up in hunting families, are just, they learn it by immersion, and they're just part of it as their parents and extended family do it too. But we started learning that wasn't really working. And so some of the research showed that if you don't have the support of parents or an adult in your life, it's really hard to recruit a kid who doesn't hunt into the activity and be able to help them keep going. So that's when our focus shifted to young adults. And so young adults are, just at a point in their lives where they're usually exploring new things and open to new ideas and ready to learn. And so they're also at the point where they can drive themselves. They usually have their own income. And so they can really pursue something if they want to stick with it. So we started doing hunt for food programs for like college age kids and kind of folks up into their early 30s. And that's been really successful. And it takes you through the entire process. So a lot of people that we work with in the Madison area, they may never have used a firearm before. They may not necessarily, have a lot of skills like staying warm outside and things like that. And so we usually have like a multi-part program where, we get people comfortable with the firearms. We recommend they go through hunter safety. And then We do some scouting and link them up with a mentor one-on-one. And so they go through that whole process with somebody right by their side. And that makes a big difference to people. And I think a lot of them too they have like a lot of just like stereotypes about hunting that they're wondering about. So they might know that that's probably not true, or, you know, something they hear seems a little off the wall. And so being able to just have lifelong hunters or people who do it all the time to ask those types of questions too is really important as well. And developing, again, that community is what really brings people into the fold. So kids are a little bit different. And so usually, you know, you point them in a direction or tell them to do something, and, you know, they'll do it and go with you. But the younger adults really ask questions, and they want to know the backstory behind things. And so it's a different crowd for sure, but I think it can sometimes be a little bit more just convincing and engaging for people. And so if we can at least kind of give them a good experience that they can take away and share with their friends, that ripple effect is there. And so one of the interesting pieces of information that recently came out, though, is that youth have a really big ripple effect for people around them. So if they're interested in going hunting, they're really likely to maybe get their parents involved or get their friends interested. So I think it's a balance for sure of, you know, the programs specifically for youth versus for adults. And that's one of the reasons that we really promote like family participation too, is so that people can learn together, and kind of that the more folks you get involved, the more likely you are to continue and learn as a group, which is more fun anyway.
Oh, absolutely. So, plus you can share resources. Like not everybody has to buy a deer blind if I have a bunch of friends that do it, or it's in my family. Like when I was growing up, my entire friend group fished. Like that's just kind of what we did when we wanted to go do something relax and chill. It wasn't just one of us going off by ourselves. And that's more, you know, kind of more fun to do things with other people. As far as those deer processing classes go, do you have something like, is there a butchering aspect of it that people find the most fascinating? Are you breaking things down into like sausages and jerky, or are we just breaking down into like whole muscle cuts? What's the nuts and bolts of that?
For the deer processing classes, we generally stick the whole muscle cuts. We started doing those classes in 2022, and the reason we started doing deer processing classes in particular was that we had been incorporating them into those Hunt for Food programs that I mentioned earlier. So that was one of the sessions people would participate in before they went hunting. But it was just really clear that people wanted more of that, and it takes lots of practice to be able to get confident doing it. So we pulled that out as like a specific half-day program. And we generally source the deer from farmers with ag damage tags. So it's kind of a win-win that we get the deer, they get deer off their, you know, their land. And then also from places like airports, or where they need to do a little bit more, you know, management of populations for safety reasons. But so we broke it down. We try to stick within like 4 hours, although it's kind of flexible. Sometimes we have one deer, sometimes we have two. And so basically, we at least do a demonstration from start to finish of like hanging the deer, skinning the deer, getting it off the bone, either in quarters or in the muscle groups as is. And so one of the cool things about the workshops is that whoever you have instructing does it slightly differently. And so everybody's got just something like a little trick to share or something different. And it's been kind of cool because we've done a number of these workshops, and I've been at workshops that have had full classes of 20 of hunters who have been hunting for their entire lives, and they're still interested in learning more. And like, what's this guy's little tip and trick that I can take away? And then on the other hand, we've had full classes of people who have less than 5 years of hunting experience or no hunting experience whatsoever. And they're just interested either in learning how to do it themselves, since they haven't yet, or we've had people who, have been teachers and a lot of their students hunt, but they don't. So they're looking for a way to connect. And it's just a really nice all around program. But anyway, so we typically within that 4-hour time frame, just break the deer down into muscle groups. And then people take that home and are able to cook it themselves. But yeah, it's a wide variety, and the best ones, in my opinion, are the ones where we have 2 deer and the instructor demonstrates the process on one, and then the entire class just helps to break down the second one and get the hands-on experience, because I think that's where people really benefit from it and feel like, all right, they did it once, now I can take this home and do it again and recreate the experience.
Yeah, having any hands-on knowledge before you go into doing it your first time is an incredible confidence boost. We do a lot of stuff with backcountry hunters and anglers, and Kansas chapter specifically. So they had a couple of deer processing classes at our old building, and I'd go to them. So when I find the thing that was most intimidating to me was gutting it. Like I was like, I've never done anything like this. I don't, I'd been hunting birds for a couple of years, but that's nothing. So I was, I was very intimidated by that. First time I did it, I'm like, oh, that was nowhere near as hard as I thought it was going to be.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
We get a lot of questions about field dressing and like, can you provide like a field dressing class? And we haven't tried it yet. And part of the reason is like, it's really hard to, get a fresh deer on the ground at a specific time and place. And the deer for the processing workshops, we kind of collect and put them in our walk-in freezer, and then we thaw them out for the class. But I haven't had the confidence yet to try that with a whole deer and thaw it out and see if we could do a field.
Yeah, I don't know if that would be a great idea. There's a lot of stuff in there you want to get out as quickly as possible, especially, if the shot was abdomen, you need to get that stuff out ASAP.
We like good shot, deer that are well shot.
Yeah. I mean, but that is a part of it, I think, for everybody. I've talked to all sorts of different hunters. Like, I probably would never take anything beyond like a 200-yard shot just because I know what I can do at 200 yards. I've talked to people who've taken 400-yard shots. And as long as you're confident with it and like that fits your ethics, I'm fine with everybody doing whatever they want. But yeah, for me, it's closer range. Let's be honest here.
The deer process, I was going to say the deer processing workshops too are also a really nice segue because, I mentioned they're interesting to people of all different experience levels, but it really opens the door for conversations of like, what are we seeing on this deer? Like, was this an ethical shot? Why did the hunter shoot the deer here? You can look at the quality of the field dressing job and all that stuff. And then we've had conversations about blood tracking and tracking dogs and just kind of opening the door into all these interesting parts of deer hunting that hopefully is inspiring to the folks who are at the workshops. And those are the conversations that I just love having with folks.
Yeah, no, it absolutely, you can go down rabbit holes on anything hunting. And one of the nice things is everybody has kind of their own opinion. And they're, for the most part, they're all valid.
Yeah, I think one of the big messages people take away from the workshops is there's 1,000 ways to butcher a deer. And yeah, like I said, you learn something different from every instructor that you talk to. So we encourage people to like come back and do more than one class until they kind of get the hang of it and can develop their own style. And I think that's like a big part of our programs overall is like, you have to learn the nuts and bolts, but eventually you develop enough confidence to have your own style. And like you said, figure out what you feel comfortable with in terms of range and where you're hunting, whether it's on public land or private land. And so I think that can be one of the challenges of teaching people how to hunt is, there's so many roads you can go down and so many ways that people hunt, and you kind of just got to pick one and then branch out after a little while. But there's so much to teach people, and that's part of the reason I love it. But it's also a challenge to kind of boil it down into 4-hour workshops or weekend-long workshops.
It definitely can be. I mean, I always thought the best way to do that or anything, build a strong knowledge base. So for me, it was bird hunting first. And then I started branching off. Then I went wild turkey. And then I was like, okay, well, it's time to do deer. And the plan was this past year to get some elk hunting opportunities in.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm too many other things going on. Selling my house, work is insane. But soon, at some point, I'll get up after that next in the big game hierarchy.
That's on my bucket list too, is an out west elk hunt. So you have to tell me how yours goes.
They taste so good. I love elk. And I just recently, for the first time, had moose. Have you had moose?
I don't think I've had moose before. I definitely have had elk, and have had friends who have gone elk hunting, but moose would be another game changer.
It's so good. I was shocked on how tasty it was. Absolutely shocked. Emily, is there anything else you want to discuss as far as the R3 programs go, Wisconsin DNR?
I don't think so. I think just check out our websites. You can search the Learn to Hunt program to see the different programs that we have available. Or if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, because we're always interested in talking with people from other states and seeing what others are up to and combining our efforts. So thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. And if you ever do go next level with the deer processing, you make jerky, snack sticks, anything like that, please feel free to reach out. We'd be more than happy to help. Knowledge, anything you guys need.
Will do. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Emily. But we just got done with Big Monday. A little bit of a sigh for you, or?
Yeah. Just everything's busy right now.
Sure.
To be honest, the world never stops being busy. Even during slow time, like I'm still just doing everything to be ready for the next busy season.
Right.
But then when it's busy season, we're still trying to make things better right now and deal with busy season, and we're just compiling stuff. But it's a good time. It's fun to see the improvements. Fun to see, like, we picked so much faster than we have in any other previous year.
Picked orders so much faster.
Yeah. We're so much more efficient. So it's cool to see that. It's cool to see where we are now and what we can do. This is our first year doing all digital. Like there was not
no paper.
There was not 2,000 pick sheets flying around in the warehouse this year. So just I almost forgot about that. I was talking with some of the others here the day after about that, because we went to all digital at the beginning of this year, but it seems like that was forever ago.
That does seem like a long time ago.
There's been a lot of changes over the last 12 months, but kind of cool to see where we're at.
Well, even the last 8 months since we moved into this building. So this is the first busy season in this building. Clear benefits over the old one.
Oh yeah.
Are
space.
I
mean, we can move. You saw it when we were picking. We got kind of bottlenecked there at the pick mod
a little bit,
because that we're still working on that. That's a piece that we'll actually hopefully be finishing rolling out this week and next week. But bottlenecked there. That it was just a reminder of what everything was like at the other building. All our aisles were narrower and tighter areas, more rooms to go between things. I mean, it's just one giant open room back there. Versus the other place, we had like the 1L that was like open, but that's still only 15,000 square feet.
Yeah, that wasn't.
Like, it wasn't a lot.
You know.
Now there's 80,000 square feet back there that you have room. It just feels nicer too. Whether it's some of it truly makes a huge difference, but then some of it is just your emotional state while you're doing things.
Less stress.
Like, you don't feel like you're just claustrophobic inside this little hole.
Yeah, so. You could easily get two carts by each other in an aisle here, where the other one that you probably could, but you're bumping. You're ever hitting the cart, and then nobody has to go out in the freezing cold to the, annexes or whatever we want to call them, the sheds sheds. Not the right term. They were full buildings, but nobody had to go do that.
There was like 12,000 feet or so out there.
Yeah, so a lot. And, pull, because we had pallets stacked out there, so they'd have to go with the forklift. Mm-hmm. So much easier this way. For anyone that was following along, Austin and I did have a competition on who picked more orders. I signed in as somebody else, so it's not official, but Austin's claiming victory. And he did win.
We still let you eat
won't.
steak.
Yeah,
on,
I still have
on
to
the
eat
live
steak.
stream.
But yeah, I talked to Jay. He's like, "Yep, I picked the third most orders yesterday," and I'm like, "Were any of them mistakes?" And he's like, "Well, not. I didn't get told anything, so hopefully I didn't mess up any orders." It is a much smoother system. So when he said pick module, we have this whole row that is just boxes, and it's 5 rows high.
Yes.
Yeah, 5 rows high, and very, very long. And basically they're on rollers. So they stock things from the back and they slide down. How many, like what constitutes getting put there? Because things that I thought would be there weren't there. Like there wasn't Willie's.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I said, it's still in progress.
Okay, so you're still kind of like
it's not done. It's
testing.
not. It does not have everything in it that needs to be. It's not full. It's not. It'll be a separate picking queue. So you were picking out of what we call the per box queue.
Okay.
We also have a case pick queue.
Yep.
Like
that which is genius.
And that's the easiest, fastest way to pick. Then you've got per box, which you're just pulling single boxes, not orders, not a whole order. You and I were probably pulling some of the same orders at the same time. But then what we'll do different with the pick mod is there will be 2 queues for the pick mod, left side, right side, and per box will go. Those will get staged over by the pick mod. Pick mod 1 then picks it up and just picks their, I don't remember how many sections, 4 or 5 sections there, and then the other person picks the next 4 sections, and it just flows between the queues. That way there's only one person on this section, one person on the other.
Okay.
And your goal is to fit 70-80% of your items, of your fast moving items in there. So yeah, Willie's should be in there. Some fibrous casings and collagen, your most popular seasonings. Now, if someone wants a 5-pound chub for ground buffalo, that's not gonna be in the pick mod. Like that's such a slow moving item. That's somewhere else. So it's just your fast moving stuff so that we can pick things fast.
Okay. Now you said something there that I found interesting, and hopefully this is interesting to people, because we're getting in the weeds here a little bit. But you said yesterday, Monday, you and I were probably picking the same order.
Mm-hmm.
So like some of those orders, you and Dave Smith ordered something, and I got one box of his stuff, and you got another box of his stuff, and it doesn't matter who picks it because all of that stuff is just going in one box. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So when an order comes in, we run it through a couple different processes, basically what we call cartonization, and it takes the order and says, what is the best way to ship this out? We want to use a combination of lowest cost, fewest boxes, but also optimal in where and how they're going into boxes. When we send stuff to the warehouse, we send the order technically, but we send it as packages. So we've already done a bunch of algorithms and computational things to figure out how is this going to go. So Dave Smith's order will get broken up into what box is it going in, and then that gets put into a group, and we sort everything by like the location in the warehouse that it's in, and we try to group them by location so that you pick items that are similar, stuff that's closer together. Because one order could end up like you could have to travel the whole warehouse to pick that one order with 5 boxes. But if you split those 5 boxes out and then pair them with other like boxes, now you have 5 people picking one order, but 5 or 6 orders, all just one box out of that, and you've now separated them to other areas of the warehouse, so you're not walking as far.
What? Okay. Yeah, I guess I didn't really realize it had gotten to that point. Is there any advantage to or disadvantage where doing it that way?
Can I go tell the CEO
to be quiet? Tell him to be quiet?
Is our recording light on?
Yeah, it is.
How rude.
It is.
How rude.
Nice. Okay.
0 words needed.
Yeah. So I guess I'm confused. because in my mind, that's going to make us ship more boxes.
Sometimes it does a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Doing what with our case picking, it also makes us ship more boxes. We ship out a lot of stuff that is 20 pounds. It's a 20-pound box. In theory, we could ship 4 of those out together in an 80-pound box. But at what point do you want to cut that off? Because if we go over 50 pounds, the carriers, they start to freak out,
right,
and they charge an insane amount more.
Huge
so we're like, okay, well, let's stay under 50. But then you go, well, how are we going to get those together? If you take, say, 2 or 3 boxes and they could fit under 50 pounds, you now have to overpack them. So you now have to consolidate these. Takes a little bit more time. How are you going to consolidate them? Are you going to put them in another box? Are you going to strap them together? You're going to add some time and materials on top of that. And then you also have the issue of damage.
Right.
The amount of times that you have damage because you have,
Just
if
too
you
much
put
in a
3
box.
cases of vac bags in a lug box, sure, it can go that way, but you can't put enough air pillows in there to keep those from bouncing around and breaking out of the package.
Yeah.
We will see higher damage, higher costs, other things going into it. So we have costs on both sides. Do we want to ship more boxes, or do we want to deal with our other costs over here? Which side do we want to go with?
And just for anyone who just found this portion of this, we don't ship microchips. We're a meat processing supply company, and this is the level of thought that has to go into how we package and ship orders. Ridiculous. I mean, that's an insane amount of effort, foresight, and just brain power that has gone into figuring that out.
Usually once you get into larger orders, especially people doing vac bags, once you get over 150 pounds, it technically doesn't matter how many, I say technically, it usually doesn't matter how many boxes we ship out. There's a minimum that it has to hit, but if we ship over 150 pounds to somebody, so somebody orders 10 cases of vac bags.
Right.
If we ship all those out individually, or if we grouped those all and tried to perfectly optimize it into 50-pound boxes, it costs us exactly the same.
Wow.
So carriers have a 150-pound threshold to where they now bill you off of the total shipment weight instead of the packages itself.
Okay.
Because really that's what they care about, is the weight and the cubic volume that it takes up in their truck.
Yeah, I understand the cubic volume one. What's their concern with weight? Is it their mail carriers? Like ability to move it, effort required to move it, or is it shipping costs for them to move it because of fuel? You don't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
I know what they do and what they charge us, and so we play by the rules. So
this is definitely the deepest we've ever dove into the shipping process and costs here.
So sometimes we do get burned by shipping out more packages, but more often than not, we are still saving a cost over here. And there's also sometimes we're saving a big cost because we now don't have all the packaging stuff to overpack things, and we don't have the damage, and it was going to cost the same either way.
Okay.
So why go through the effort?
So with this new place, or this new way of doing it, have we seen a reduce in damage costs?
I can't give you exact numbers on that. I haven't looked at it in a while, but
If
yes,
you had to guess.
do we have less damage now than we used to?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
What that exactly is,
Cool.
I'd have to go back and
Well,
look.
that's awesome to hear.
Some of it also is over the years we changed carriers and who does what.
Sure.
And I think some carriers are harder on packages than others.
But that has always been, like, from the time I was back in customer service 10 years ago, that has been, some hubs for UPS are better than some hubs for FedEx. It's just where it goes through. There's employees there who have a culture of just throwing boxes as high as they can onto something, who knows what. And in other ones, they move it like fine china.
I need to follow up with one of our customers up in the Northwest. Like every time they get something from us, it gets damaged.
Yeah.
And so I told Allie recently to send them like a swag bag kit thing and see
How does it go?
See how I got there.
Yeah.
Because we were also questioning our fancy Walton's boxes, how those would hold up. And I was like, send it on this route. Because this is the best test on to see.
Right, because she shipped one out and it came back and it was pretty much fine. It had a little bit of like scuffs on it kind of and some dirt, but it looked good.
But there's usually just certain routes that something gets on.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's a good reason, sometimes there's not. We've run into other things where we track them down. We call a local, I send it to my rep to call the local hub, and they figure out like what's going on, and they fix it. So sometimes we can fix them, sometimes we can't, but sometimes people are just hard on boxes.
Yeah, sometimes. So, all right, that was excellent. Hopefully that was as interesting to everyone else as it was to me. All right, so we are going to move on. Austin and I, since the beginning of this year, have had since the beginning of 2021, we've had a bet every year going for who finishes higher, Notre Dame or Kansas State, in the final rankings. And in this year, by week 4, Austin had already said it's over.
We were 1-3.
He's like, we're done. Well, we were
and the one
2-2.
game we won was barely winning last minute to an FCS school.
That's right.
Like,
but we were 2-2, so we weren't exactly lighting the world on fire. And I do now think we're going to get left out of the playoffs. Because if you saw, we got moved from 9 to 10. If BYU or if Alabama wins and BYU wins, we're out. We're not going to make it because they're not going to move Texas Tech down. Alabama will be solidly in, and the top, what is it? It'll be Virginia probably.
Yeah, so Miami's probably out because they're 12.
Yep.
So the top 11 should get in because the ACC champ is going to get in, unless
because then BYU, Texas Tech,
if Duke,
Alabama, and Georgia are in.
Yeah, if the weird thing would be is
if Duke wins, forget it.
Duke wins,
forget it.
And then James Madison could end up being in.
If James Madison gets in, they really, and no offense to the James Madison fans, I'm sure there's not anyone watching this podcast, so who cares? But if it needs to be redone completely. It has to be completely redone.
To be honest, I'm not opposed to it because when someone wins from a conference and they're not deserving of it,
right?
Like if K-State somehow made the Big 12 championship game and won the Big 12 championship game, we should not go.
Right?
Wouldn't be fair.
There should be something.
So if Duke wins, the ACC is just enough trash this year that they just don't deserve to go.
I agree, but that's just not the way it's going to go.
Yeah. Well, no, that's the way it'll go.
It's
no one from the ACC is going to go.
Group of 5
will be James Madison if Duke wins, unless they jump Duke above everybody. That's
absolutely insane.
But
okay. But anyways, so we have that bet going every year, and this year it was over fairly early on, and I won. The punishment for this one was that the winner gets to choose a barbecue plate or whatever plate of whatever food they want for the other one to have to eat. So we're going back through some of my favorite Willet barbecues, least favorite Willet barbecues is what it comes down to, and some extra items. So I've put together a list. Because I was allowed to eat steak on Monday when I lost the competition, I have given Austin one veto. So first we're going to read the list. Then he's going to add one. I'm going to add one, blah, 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 back and forth. And then you can use your veto at the end and I'll re-add whatever. Okay? So here's my list. I have an easy one at first, which I know he's going to want to use his veto on, which is foolish because it's delicious. Ceviche shrimp. So ceviche is just cooked chemically with acids so that it doesn't actually have any flame touching it. Then we have alligator cheek, eel, lionfish, everyone's favorite beaver tail.
Ugh.
And I feel like that's going to be the one that he's going to use his veto on. Guinea pig testicles, not guinea pigs, but they're testicles. Iguana, muskrat, raccoon, and to end it all out, possum. So there's 3 on here that I think you're like trying to figure out which one you want to use your veto on. And I believe those to be beaver tail, raccoon, and possum.
what is lionfish?
It's the spiky things.
Is this the one that can like kill you?
That's blowfish.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's nothing. Because there was something we talked about eating. It's like, oh, you have to cook it right or do this, or it could be poisonous.
That's blowfish.
Okay.
Yeah.
So none of these are going to, in any way, shape, or form, going to get me sick or hurt.
Well, we talked about this because I wanted to do armadillo, but they're so expensive. It was like $240 to buy a single armadillo carcass, and we wondered if maybe that has to do with like some sort of leprosy testing that has to go on before they can sell it, because that's the only thing I can think of that makes sense.
Yeah.
On why they would be so expensive. But okay. So go. You may choose your first one And
No, you
however
choose first.
No, I said you choose first.
No, you choose first.
Why?
I just don't want to choose first.
Every way I've explained this, it was you choosing first. Before the podcast, right then, I said you would choose, then I would choose.
I wasn't
then
really
you would choose,
listening
then I
when
would
you were
choose. Okay.
talking.
Well,
I'm stuck in my head right
that's
now,
the way it
panicking.
goes. Okay, I will choose first then, and I will try and make you use your veto immediately, and I will go beaver tail.
I thought I could wait till the end.
Oh, you can.
You did say that.
No, okay. All right. So, so you were paying attention when it
That was the only thing I
failed.
failed. Yeah, the only thing I was paying attention to was the thing that I need to survive. Because I need the veto.
Okay, let's go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to choose from all the things we've done Will It Barbecue on, right? So
you can choose from anything.
Pineapple.
No. You can choose from anything.
So
on
just from this list. This isn't anything we've Will It Barbecue.
Is, yes.
Okay, just this list. I'm trying to
I get you.
trying to cheat the system.
That's fair.
Why is it specifically alligator cheek?
Because we've done alligator tail and it was good. It was okay at least. I imagine alligator cheek is not going to be good.
You know you can buy alligator cheek.
Yes, 100%.
Okay, let's do alligator cheek.
Okay, Austin goes with alligator cheek. All right, I am going to add opossum.
Oh,
He's hurting here. There's not a lot of good options, ladies
why
and
is
gentlemen.
lionfish bad?
It's just very... You're not going to like it. It's more exotic than anything else. But it does not have a pleasing taste. At least not how I'm going to cook
I
it.
can't comment at all because on anything because I don't want you to know what's going through my head. I almost should have just, I don't know. Did we do iguana already? We ate some sort of lizard or something, didn't we?
We ate python.
We ate snakes.
Yeah, I don't think we did iguana.
I mean, what's so bad about iguana? It's going to be bony. It's going to be, that's the worst thing about snake was like the little spiny crap.
We also got, like, when I ordered a python, I was expecting like this. We got one that was like, like that.
Yeah.
So I think it matters how big the iguana is. And that I don't have any control over.
Let's do iguana. Sounds weird.
Austin's going with iguana. I think that's probably a good call. If I had to guess if there was one thing on here that tasted the most like chicken, I bet you it's iguana. All right, and I'm going to actually surprisingly not go with muskrat or raccoon for my last ones. But I am going to go with guinea pig testicles because I find it funny making you. I hope they are this big.
Yeah. How many of those you got to get?
He's got to eat at least 4 minimum.
No. Okay.
Right, size-wise.
Do you remember when you had to do the mashed potatoes? The bet was a plate full of mashed potatoes, and I want to use some choice words right now. You wussed out. You ate half of a plate.
That plate was enormous. And
it was a normal portion
absolutely,
of mashed
it
potatoes.
was not a normal portion.
If
of
you were
mashed
just
potatoes.
eating mashed potatoes for a meal, you would eat that many mashed potatoes.
The amount I ate was more mashed potatoes than I've ever eaten in my entire life. And you tried to make it, according to you tried to make it taste good.
I did. They
And
were
you added
delicious.
all this other stuff to it, which just made it worse.
It was the most loaded, delicious mashed potatoes of all time.
All right, so I'm going guinea pig testicles.
Okay. I'm gonna regret this.
Yeah. What are you going with?
But the only reason I do it is because I know I can eat it, although I just don't. I'm gonna not think about how we get there, but I'm going with the shrimp.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't like how we get there, but if I don't think about it,
Yeah.
I think I can live with it.
Okay. So that's not a bad list. What's your veto?
I'm not eating testicles.
Oh, come on. All right. Muskrat it is.
Great. I got 2 rodents. Muskrats and I call possums rodents. Are
They might
rodents?
as well be.
I think they're rodents.
Yeah. They're terrible looking. I really do. Like, I've told the story before, but I met a couple from Australia and they're like, what is Americans' problems with possums? Like, well, they're disgusting looking. They're dirty and all these other things. And they're like, how cute are the rest of your animals? And I'm like, do you know what a possum looks like? And they're like, yeah, we have them. So they show me what they think a possum is. And what they think a possum is adorable. It's this brown animal with big soft eyes. And I'm like, oh no, here's a possum. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So, okay.
So I'm excited because I want beaver tail to be in there because you have to suffer through this with me. You may not have to eat it, but you have to be involved with the cooking, the smelling, the watching me vomit. Like I'm bringing puke bags because we will vomit through this.
The good news is this year or this time we do beaver tail, I'm not going to think I'm smarter than the recipes, and I'm not going to try sous videing it first. I'm doing it over hot open flame, and it's just going to smell outside.
I do want like to be involved in the cooking process here and I want final say over how something's cooked because I want to make sure. I'd rather eat this all as like crispy chips that's been over baked as long as
it takes.
I think part of the issue with beaver tail was the sous vide thing, and I question if it was safe to eat.
Definitely 100% possible, but also from what I've heard or learned is that it absolutely matters what season the beaver tail was harvested at. Like that plays a big part into what the flavor and texture will be.
I guess it's mostly fat.
Yeah.
So
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Moving on. So we've got our penalty for.
Are we date setting?
We're not date setting yet.
Okay.
No, but we'll get it done in the next month or so. Okay. Moving on to meat matters. We've got Spain halts 1/3 of pork exports due to African swine fever. Now, we were talking about this before. If you remember, right around the COVID times, I was very concerned with ASF. ASF. But I would always call it the wrong thing, and I was always calling it Asian swine fever. It was probably because we were thinking about diseases coming out of Asia a lot at that point. But recently, 2 wild boars were found within 15 miles of Barcelona, dead and confirmed with African swine fever. This represents the first known case of ASF in Spain since 1994. The disease was officially eradicated from the Iberian Peninsula in 1995. It took 35 years to successfully eradicate ASF from Spain. That's how dangerous and difficult it is to manage this disease. Spain now has a real problem on their hands. Spain is the largest producer of pork in the EU, and they've also the largest pork exporter in the EU. Spain's a major pork exporter in the global pork trade. They provide China with 25% of its pork imports, 17% to Japan, 19% to the Philippines, and 4% to South Korea. If ASF proves to be a major problem for Spain, exports to these countries will fall to zero. This will open up a huge opportunity for U.S. pork producers, and that's absolutely true, especially to China. Like, pork has remained really cheap in the U.S. during this ridiculous, expensive beef stuff. And chicken went crazy, eggs went insane, but pork has been like the rock star the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Pork is insanely cheap. I was at the store looking at pork this last weekend and got messages from techs about 99 cents or less, pork butts. I did a bad thing. I bought pre-seasoned pork butts.
Oh, why?
Because it was so cheap. It was like $1 a pound.
What was it pre-seasoned with?
Like Hatch green chili something. So I was like, I'll try it. But like $1 a pound for pre-seasoned boneless pork butts. I was like, all I have to do is put this on my grill and see if it tastes okay. Like it was like $9.76 for the pork butt. I'm like, I'll gamble $10 that this is not very good for 10 pounds of meat.
Have you cooked it yet?
Haven't cooked it yet.
Oh, okay.
But pork's so cheap. I wish there was something that fit more on the lines of like a ribeye.
Don't we all?
I'd eat pork every day all the time. But even chicken. I was looking at chicken, and I've been like deboning my own chicken thighs, and I was like, I don't want to do it. And then I was looking at the store, $6 a pound for the boneless ones. I'm like, nope, I'll keep deboning my own. Like, not gonna do it. But the steak we bought for live stream was $20 a pound. Just insane. Not even
it
great
wasn't
steak.
Even good looking
not even
steak.
Great steak.
Yeah, I mean they were this thick, maybe.
Yeah, they were probably 3/4 inch.
Yeah.
But I don't know. If hopefully nothing crazy happens with pork, because I feel like that's the one thing I can hold on to right now, is that if I want cheap meat, I can go eat pork.
Yeah, that is definitely true. And let's be honest, pork is nice and versatile. Like, I might not want to eat it all the time every day, but there are a lot of good things you can do with it.
Yeah, I would prefer pork for snack sticks, summer sausage,
Absolutely,
brats, you name it.
Yeah.
So when we're talking further processed products, I love it because that's what I want anyways. Sometimes beef. It's nice to have a change up and do like a beef summer sausage or maybe a mix, but pork is still hands down go to. So
yeah, I've never been a big pork chop guy. Like that's never been like, oh yay, pork chops. Like every once in a while, yeah, smoked tenderloin. Really, really good. But all right. They think that it was a sandwich dropped in the woods that brought ASF back to Spain.
no.
Yep. From Italy. There's the article. They think infected sandwich blamed for putting Spain's pork production at risk. Now, in 2023, we imported $40.5 million from Spain in pork. So it's not, if they end all exports, doesn't really hurt us very much. I mean, $40 million is obviously a lot of money, but when we're talking about global trade, it's nothing. Not nothing. It's a very small amount. So, all right, moving on. I've got two good wild. Do you have anything else you want to talk about as far as? Okay.
Nope.
I've got two what I think are really good wild cards today. Patrick, I will get you recordings of these, and we'll just watch them on this.
Instagram's getting to be a pain. I can't even view it without logging in. Usually you can like skip through and continue, but it won't let me.
All right, so these are.
Whoa.
Look at that thing. He
Dude.
gets knocked out. And I think that's a blood over its one horn because it's nothing's there, and then all of a sudden.
Oh, the horn snapped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That thing's gonna have CTE
So
in a
is
couple
that
years.
a water buffalo? That one? It's some sort of water buffalo.
That's what it kind of looks like.
No, and he just gets lower. He low man wins. This is my football coach was right. Low man wins. And that thing just goes, I mean, that's
Both of their brains rattled 500,000 times back and forth
Sure.
in their heads, and it's just the one that had the weaker brain
and the one that goes
lost out.
like this is a huge bull. It gets hit so hard it goes over its back legs and it's knocked out. Like
Yeah,
that is unconscious.
Cold. The second it gets hit,
Yep.
it's knocked out cold.
Okay, now, so that's what happens when two of them go at each other.
Oh no.
Here's Facebook. This is what happens when you don't pay attention and your bull.
Oh no.
So this is a farmer. He's trying to repair a fence. This bull does not take kindly to it. And boom, knocks over this huge pole, snaps the pole in half. And the farmer luckily doesn't get gored. And then even luckier, it gets caught up in the fence.
Yeah.
Like that bull's hind leg, right? As soon as it turns here, gets caught up in that fence right there and it can't move.
That fence is not holding that bull.
No.
Like,
Because that's coming for him again. Right here. If that bull doesn't get caught up, it's going for him again.
yeah. You need a little something more substantial than that. That's scary because there's nothing you can do. That thing's coming at you. You can't get away.
Nope.
You're just gonna sit there and take it.
I'm more and more fascinated by bulls recently. They just like they all have different personalities. Like some of them people describe almost as like dog-like, and some of them are just like, don't come anywhere near my pen. Like I will kill you.
You ever watch PBR bull riding?
So I've watched like recently. I've been watching some like highlights and stuff like that, like Jake Mooney,
JB Mooney.
JB Mooney.
Oh, man.
Yeah, this comedian. I watched a documentary about him that was super interesting. My favorite line from it is they're interviewing somebody else, and he goes, "No matter what was going on, he chose that bull 17 out of 17 times." And it's this bushwhacker, I think it was called, or something, like just this impossible bull to ride. He was always like that one, and I just respect that so much. Like we're going for the gold here. But yeah, so I'm more interested in it now than I used to be.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, they are scary animals, man. Absolutely scary animals. But okay, we will see you guys. I will be back on Monday with a live stream. Not 100% sure what we're going to make yet, but it'll be some sausage-based item. And then we'll be back the following week with the podcast again. When are we doing? Are we doing a Christmas? We're doing our live stream to end the 13 days of Christmas. Last couple of years, on the last day, we've done a live stream. It's usually been 3 hours.
Yeah.
And we just like wrap up the 13 days of Christmas.
We should do something. Okay. Sometimes we've done more marathon ones, sometimes shorter, but I think we usually do something. We should do something.
Okay. So at the end of this year, which should be the 20th, we'll have another longer live stream. It won't be, this year was only 4 hours. This year went by fast.
4 hours was a good length.
Yeah.
Like, I was still tired. That last hour, I was still tired.
Exhausted.
But when we've done them for 5 hours or more, those, it's hard to do. It's hard to do.
I know that sounds ridiculous because all we're doing is sitting here and occasionally getting up and shooting the chicken. But there's something about having to, like, quote unquote, be on for 5 hours that's just, it's exhausting. You don't get any time to just be like,
yeah.
So, All right, guys, we will see you next week.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for checking out the Meatgistics podcast. To shop everything but the meat, head on over to waltons.com. To get your meat processing questions answered by experts and enthusiasts alike, head on over to our online community at meatgistics.com. Waltons, everything but the meat.